from the field officer point of view, what makes it to the policymaker isn't necessarily 100% accurate to what happens in the field. And that's an unfortunate but very significant reality, because intelligence is still a profession. It's still a career, which means that what you say, what gets recorded, what gets communicated, what gets prioritized, all impact your individual career. And that was not something I expected, Matt. When I signed up to be in the military, when I went on to join CIA, I felt like there would be a mission that would come first. But that wasn't always the case. There were careers that had to come first, and there were politics that had to come first, and things got muddled. So as an example, when a field officer collects an intelligence report, that intelligence report is what we call raw intelligence. It comes directly from a human source. And that intelligence report almost always starts the same way. On this day, this thing happened. And then you want your intelligence report to basically answer, the 5 major questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. And you want to stick to the facts. So you report just the facts in this paragraph, and then you submit that paragraph or 2 or 3 paragraphs forward as an intelligence report. Well, when you write that intelligence report, you as the field officer were there. You write what you fucking heard. But then it goes through 3 levels of managers, and sometimes they're like, well, we're not sure we want to say that, or we're not sure we want to say it that way, or we're afraid that if we say this line, it's going to turn the analysis team, it's going to make them come back with more questions. So now you've got people who are editing your raw intelligence before it can even be sent to the analytical department at CIA. And then once it gets to the analysts, now you've got a team of 5 or 7 analysts who, just like you said, they're pulling from expertise in all the different intelligence areas, right? SIGINT, MASINT, Humint, defense intelligence, whatever. And they're combining your raw intelligence with somebody else's raw intelligence and turning it into a synthesized product that gets passed to the policymaker. So when you received it, Matt, and it was rated as whatever it was rated as, that rating scale came from a team of analysts who had to agree on what they were going to rate it according to an index that was defined by some sort of bureaucratic process based on raw intelligence that had been fine-tuned by a series of middle managers before it actually came from the source. So as kind of frustrating as it is to
You must have resented the shit out of that.
Exactly.
Like, look, man, I didn't have the guts to go out there and throw a turban on and climb into some Central Asian cave. But if like people are out there doing that stuff on behalf of the CIA and they're saying what happened, and then some needle dick at some office in the Washington, D.C. area is saying, well, that actually doesn't fit the outcome determinative goal that we had, then it gets sanded off, watered down, re-aggregated, and then the effort put in becomes functionally meaningless.
And you're exactly right. And I'm glad that you could pick up on that so quickly, because that's what ends up creating a divide between the field operator and the policymaker that we're sworn to support. Because we don't ever know why the policymaker is making the policy decisions they're making, because not only is there the watered down version of the intelligence that we're collecting, but then there's also all the other competing political issues that are happening at any given time.
So the issue there is what animates that. What animates that process by which raw intelligence is altered, reorganized, recast, categorized before people making decisions about like not insignificant shit. It's like whether or not we go to war and where we put bases and what level of risk of confrontation with some major power we're going to have over something going on. And what I know for an absolute fact from my time is that a lot of those folks preparing reports for us know that their career advancement is dependent on whether or not we like the report, whether or not we like the findings. And that should not be a factor in it. It should be whether or not it is true or false. And then the people who are voted for and against should have to carry that burden. But because a lot of them are cowards, they want to be able to have cover. And so they reward the people in the bureaucracy who provide them the cover to make bad decisions. And what I don't honestly know is whether or not that middle level who is ingesting the raw intelligence, whether or not they pass that pressure on. Like when you're out in the field, when you're the colleagues I'm sure you still talk to and who've gotten out and you've talked to, have they ever felt that pressure? Because I've never I've never really correctly assessed that.
So fresh on me. Freedom!